Haunted Hearing Aid. Recorded live by Luigi C. Russo, Chief Poet Officer of PoetLuigi.com. He will also comment on various entertainments recently consumed. And now, let us hear. Women narrator. Airstream, let your ears scream. Narrator. Call the following number. 1-4-EARSTREAM. So you can be like this. Woman narrator. Airstream, let your ears scream. Woman approaches door and knocks on door. Voice 1. Hello. Woman inside house approaches door knocked upon. Voice 2. Not so loud. I hear you extra loud, Rebecca. I know your voice. Voice 1. Wow, amazing. Last time you couldn't hear me. Knocking if I was knocking with Thor's hammer. Voice 2 with a smile answers, What? Did you say something? Both women look at each other, grin, and laugh. Youthful, light-hearted laughs. Narrator. Call now. Phone number appears on bottom of screen. Woman narrator. Airstream, let your ears scream. Following shown on TV screen before commercial ends. Airstream with logo of an air yelling into another ear. P.O. Box 1313 MOH 44255 14EARSTREAM. Call or mail for brochures or visit website www.earstream.com. In tiny print, only visible via pausing TV and reading with zoom in via necessary tools. Not responsible for any debts associated with this product because it has been linked with one unknown unfortunate death. Commercial ends with an eerie sound that has yet to be determined how to be rid of. The organizational editors cannot locate the sound because it is not in any original recording. The eerie sound only appears on finished products when televised, streamed, and radioed. The sound is heard and not heard at the same time. The sound is a kind of thunk, something hard hitting wood, with a rolling, swooshing sound, rolling back and forth, a pendulum consistency with faint sounds of laughter and rain. The technicians viewed the finished product, and no matter how much of the finished commercial had been edited after being aired to worldwide audiences, mainly American, if the commercial aired at 2 minutes and 6 seconds, with unknown sounds being heard at the 5th and 6th ending seconds, Airstream editors would remove the last 3 seconds, so there would only be a finished product of 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Product would be fine, wonderful. And a sense of accomplishment would overflow amongst staff. Cheering, chanting, champagne shouting. Product would be aired. Nervous tension from all, especially the owner who always wanted perfection, especially for those who could hear. All waited, sweating. 2 minutes passed, and 1 second, 2 seconds. The sound is heard, and not heard at the same time. The sound is a kind of thunk. Something hard hitting wood with a rolling, swishy sound, rolling back and forth. A pendulum consistency with faint sounds of laughter and rain. Scene of a man in mid-60s, receding hairline of silver grays, broad shoulders, slim waist, muscular chest and arms, good-sized legs, wearing cut-off white t-shirt that has a picture of a crazed savage with the inscription of Warrior Poet, now you know it. Boxer shorts of Cleveland Browns logos. The man stands, the man shouts, the man is mad, the man sits, the man smiles, the man becomes confused. He saw and listened to the finished product. It wasn't there. I need a drink. Where's that bottle? Where's my wife? Oh yeah, she went to Boston to visit her brother. Where is that bottle? Bottle? Oh, bottle, where art thou? After talking to his own thoughts, he notices his bottle is by his wall of degrees. A BA in English, a MA in English, MLIS, MPA, AUD, MBA, PhD in communication. Education upon shot, shot upon education. Here's a shot to you and you and you. Here stands the man who created and founded Earstream, Dr. Earstream, as he wants to be called by staff, was constantly trying to seek medical help for his youngest son, who suffered hearing loss more and more as he got older. Then one day he heard no more and committed suicide for reasons they speculated, most likely due to the lack of self-confidence and not being able to hear and cope with the knowledge that once able to hear. Father is a famous audiologist, but cannot help his own son hear. Dr. Earstream wasn't able to create the latest and most successful hearing enhancements in the entire world at that time. The newest product has technological abilities to reach into various nerve cells, neurons, and atoms to enhance the hearing. The aid comes alive when turned on, and when turned off, transformed back to original form. That is why when aid is turned on, person must wait a minute until activation, and when aid is turned off, must wait 5 minutes for deactivation. If the person doesn't wait the few minutes and removes hearing enhancements, it may be very dangerous to what is left of hearing. But if insurance is purchased, as in for future hearing loss resulting from premature removal of hearing enhancement, Earstream will pay for damages via surgery or less of a powerful hearing enhancement, or just simple hearing aid of the yesteryears. Dr. Earstream has made numerous sacrifices, physical, mental, and rumors of possible soul. Many unknowns surround Dr. Earstream's success of finding the technology or even understanding the technology to create the technology. Dr. Earstream's technological savviness was limited, it seemed, over a 13-hour period. Dr. Earstream's knowledge of the technology associated with the latest, most successful hearing enhancement named after his son, LOUIE021180, he became immensely abundant. The Earstream walked taller, looked younger, even became smarter, calmer, funnier. The death of his youngest was no longer an inspiration in his quest for helping others to hear. The change was almost like the answers to the universe was given, the secrets untold, heaven on earth. God had awakened himself and allowed Dr. Earstream to be his vessel. That is what 99.9% of those around Dr. Earstream thought of Dr. Earstream. Dr. Earstream knew nothing of the thoughts of those who thought what they did of and around him. Dr. Earstream scratched his balls, did a shot, looked at his last son's photo, threw the shot glass in the garbage, staggered back a bit. He could feel the booze running through his brain. He staggered forward to the bottle, yanked it with such force unrealized he got off balance. Tumbled into the carpet, just missing the bedpost, studying the bottle, which he just realized was whiskey, a cheap bottle, but old habits cannot outshine new ones. He knew he was near billionaire status, but couldn't refuse a huge bottle of booze, of cheaper whiskey that was like $15 cheaper than an expensive brand of a smaller bottle of whiskey. Whiskey is whiskey regardless of how much money he made. So here is to not spilling the whiskey. When it is cheap or expensive, he stands, feels lightheaded, dizzy, drinks a little more, swallows it hard, a couple swallows. He does a regurgitate, swallows back. That concludes today's reading of Haunted Hearing Aid, Evil is Here. Now we move on to Hearing Aid On, Hearing Aid Off. Well, I do have to say a little less this week. So, alright, I watched the 2002 Italy versus Mexico World Cup game. This is a regular, the group stage. Although Italy won, or did they tie? They tied, I'm sorry, they tied 1-1. I do have to say the 2002 Italy team does not look that great, and I didn't like how they played, so I give them a hearing aid off. Anaconda 2025. It was funny. It was good. I actually liked Jack Black in this movie. I mean, they made it work. It worked. It was kind of a sequel, indirect sequel, real sequel, like how they like to do these days. So, Anaconda, hearing aid on. Camp, CAAMP. It's a band. Copper changes color. It sounded like southern, modern. Um, I had no idea what the songs were about. Couldn't make out any of it, but it was different stuff. It worked. I give that a hearing it on. Kate Bush, Hounds of Love, The Ninth Wave. The only reason why I liked one song was because of Stranger Things. Other than that, I didn't really like any of the songs. They were kind of too long and sounded the same, so that album or two gets a hearing aid off. Robot Chicken Season 1, definitely a hearing aid on for that bad boy. There's some G.I. Joe figures. I love the Terradrome one, like the Terradrome Office. And, creative, funny, so I like that, Robot Chicken. Sabrina Carpenter, short and sweet. I find her voice to be annoying to my hearing aid, so she gets a hearing aid off. Cut Me Deep, a story of indie pop, 1985 to 1989. Let's afford this set of like all these oddball songs on there. You had such bands as the Bodines, the Jesus and Mary Chain, the Sugar Cubes, the Pale Saints. It was 80s music, but you couldn't really tell. It just didn't seem like they used a lot of the, electronic music of the time. And they were just playing music, being independent artists. I like that, smooth, different sounds, just good listening to while you're driving. And so that gets your hearing aid off. And so that is it for today. And have a great rest of your weekend.